What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Mr. Anime, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's staying safe. First things first, you guys are amazing. The amount of support and comments and everything on just, not just the giveaway video, but recently, I really want to thank you guys because you're amazing. Really does put a smile on my face, most of your comments, so thank you for that. Today's video, I'm getting video bombed by my dog, really love it every time, getting video bombed. Today's video is going to be about defensive damage and defensive damage reduction. Now, I did make a video, and it was about 30 minutes long. It was a bit of a ramble, it was a bit of a mess, to be fair. Wasn't all over the show. So what I want to try to do is reevaluate it and thought to myself, right, I'm going to make this video 5, I say top tips, but there's probably going to be a part 2. I'm going to put this out there. Feedback to me, let me know what you think. It's not going to cover all of the defensive damage and defensive damage reduction that can be done in your castle, but 5 top tips, as to say, more to come. I'll write in the comments section the 5 as well that I'm covering, so you guys know what's in this video. And I'll just, again, I hope my videos help you guys out. Slap a thumbs up on the video, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll get straight into it. Oh, by the way, I also had to write this out on my computer in front of me because this is a first for me, so I could be a little bit more to the point with you guys. So, first tip. A lot of people ask me, what dragon do you use on your wall for defending your castle? Now, my personal preference is the Fire Eagle. I'll show you my dragon and what I've got on here, and I'll tell you exactly the reason why. Some people also mention the Red Dragon, which can be considered as a defending dragon. Yes, I agree with that. But with the Fire Eagle, and the reason why I use this is because of the Scorching Response level 10 and the permanent burning impact at level 10. That's 25% each. Defensive damage and defensive damage reduction. You can't pass up on that opportunity. The fact that this dragon also saves troops when you get in rally, etc., but I don't think it has to be on the wall for that, to be fair. But I think the Red Dragon only offers, mine's set up in a different way, so this is not going to, I was using it for offensive just to see what it was like. But I think it's only 15 and 20. So again, Dragon, Fire Eagle on the wall. I will always say that to people. A lot of people who I speak to also use the Fire Dragon. Some people use Scartha for the health, but my personal preference, Fire Dragon on the wall. Okay, I'm glad I've covered that. Number 2 is Guard Set and Hero. Now, my personal preference is Selma. And the reason behind that is not only because I've got the Guard Set on there, but that obviously can be put anywhere else, but because of when I acquired this castle, the person had already put a bit of work into the sort of official position skills that Selma has. And at the end of the day, considering I am kind of an infantry player, and, hold on. Hey, get in your bed, you little pickle. And like a good 85% of the troops in my castle, for those of you who are interested, let's have a quick look, mainly infantry, 41 million of those, a good 85% of the troops in my castle are infantry. So I could not pass off on, where is it? 10.5%, 10% infantry damage, whoops. Plus all the other little stuff. And the active skill, sorry, not the active skill, the attributes on the hero is also another thing I want to point out whilst I'm here. I also have managed to max these out. Again, infantry, but defensive damage reduction. So I just want to point that out to you. If you're curious how to get that, down here, information, respin does cost gold. You need to lock it, fairly expensive sometimes, depends if you're lucky. Okay, number 2, we were talking about guard sets and heroes. Oh, sorry, I mentioned my guard set. Okay, I pick up defensive damage reduction and defensive damage from my guard set. 8% and 8% defensive damage for the 2-4-6 set. For actually evoing it, I get my next is on the 8, which was I'm at 7. One more to go, which is really expensive. Even at bronze, it's from a very low spender who doesn't really buy Evo stones, it does chew it up. Okay, but that's 8% for the next stage. 8 plus 10, probably never. But there it is available again. I also want to mention that I do have a gem on my boots there, which gives me Defensive damage taken reduction 2.4%. So remember, if you've got a hero on your wall, now I will talk about a second hero whilst I'm blabbing on about that, or if I can find it somewhere, which, oh, where is it gone? Am I blind? I'm looking for the, there he is. I haven't even, I totally ignore the equipment on here, by the way, because I do not use this hero. I just haven't got round to maxing him up. It will never replace, for me personally, Selma, because of the infantry damage and the maxed out stats. But I do want to point out that the Holy Shield Warrior, and this is not me saying that it's a bad hero, because it is a very good hero for defending your wall. Not only with the talent skills, because if you come down here, you can see increased defensive damage. You know, I'm not denying the fact that I know that this is available. I'm just saying my Selma is in an awful lot better position. And it's exactly the reason why I use her. You know, I could take my guard set, slap it on the, you know, this hero, max him out and sort out all his attributes. Because again, you know, 2% right there, another 2% right there. I'm sure if you came over to the attributes, I don't know why there's, as you can tell, I do not work on this hero offensive, on a defensive hero. Yeah, okay. But yeah, again, if you come over here, you can just, you know, flick your skills like that, figure out which ones you want. You know, and make him into your new defensive hero. But on a side note, I also do want to mention he does come with some very valuable skills that do not have to, he doesn't have to be on the wall for these skills to work, okay? Now, these are active skills. They have cooldown timers, and you can use them as many times as you want, as long as it's available and the cooldown is no longer there. 10% defensive damage reduction, 10% defensive damage. And if you get the 3rd star, a bit far away from that, but it also gives you 15% health for all of your troops. So this hero itself, although I don't use him, he's also very handy to me because these active skills, he provides 20% just on his own. So again, good hero to get, unlock him. You don't have to max him out, but just try to get those skills, you know, to give you the defensive damage reduction, etc. Okay. Dragonglass. On a side note, by the way, I do have a gem on here. As you can see, I'm only at +5. 20% more health soon to come, mate. I'm loving it. I'll be over 600. I'll be, oof, ooh, ooh. So anyway, Dragonglass. It's probably better off I go this way into it, to be fair. Okay. Now, I know Dragonglass can be fairly pricey to get. But if you want a little tip on how to get it, not only being active in your castle, but I believe there is... And this is how I've been unlocking my magic books, level 5 as well, without paying. God's Favour. Okay. Oh, I'm also trying to get to level 55 as well. But anyway, over here in the God's Favour, this is free to do. You just need to log in and collect it every day. I suggest what you do is pick basically the item that you want. And then you can go through and after 5 days, maybe get lucky, get some shards, synthesize them together, and it's free. And you can basically just use that to get Dragonglass to get your way up to gold. And just generally be active in your castle. Because the game does give you so much free shit nowadays. I really don't care what anybody says in the opposite to that. Because, yeah, from what it used to be, I've played this game almost since day one. From what it used to be, in comparison to what you get nowadays, it's nuts. And I know the game's come a long way, but... You just have to be active in your castle. Right, Dragonglass. My Dragonglass that I use is this one right here. Now, I believe in my friend's castle, we've done the opposite. Oh no, actually it's the 38 this side. Now, I know that some people use this as offensive. Now, I talk a lot on my channel from a defensive point of view because at the end of the day, I just let the big boys sit at the rallies. So if I can defend my castle good enough to a certain caliber, then, you know, I can just join the rallies and it's one less worry to me. So I went for this and turned it into my defensive Dragonglass, right? How much Dragonglass have I spent getting 2 gold and a bronze? 450, 500,000. Probably a little bit more than that in crystals. Just respin it by purification. I will mention I've had nothing but bad news from using that option in the middle there, the new one that they brought out a while back. My advice to you, don't fucking use it. Not just in my castle, but my friend's castle. I've used it in my other castle in another kingdom. I got nothing but shit results, and it waxed so many crystals. So, personal opinion, don't use that. Just go ahead, purify it. I'm still spinning. Oh, you can even do, you know, you can't, like, the stuff that it gives you is, like, random as fuck. But I went for all soldier units, HP, defensive damage reduction, and defensive damage. Again, I've selected the same, and I've locked them all. And I'll just purify and just keep my thing. Oh, there are days like today, for example, where it costs less. Is it lucky day? It is lucky day. I don't pay attention to much stuff like that, but yeah. You know, but the idea is just to keep spinning through. I mean, you can put it on auto purify. You could put it auto purify 3 gold, but like, I've sat there before for about an hour and a half while I was watching a film and left it on that, and it did nothing but chew crystals. It didn't stop once. After about an hour and a half, I think I went for like, I don't know, 400,000 crystals, and then I was like, right, okay, I'm just going to manually spin it now. And then I ended up putting it just back to 2. Because like, the way that I look at it is if you get 2 golds and it lands on a bronze like that, you'll take that all day long. Because the max stats is, what, 30? And HP is 11. So you're getting close. But it's a case of really getting lucky. You know, I don't really know where the limit is of how much crystals you've got to put in before you get a good amount. So I do apologise. But again, defensive damage and defensive damage reduction. Not only that, but you also get the crit damage taken by all soldier units troops. Don't forget, which I don't actually have for some reason, if you charge, it is actually on the right-hand side. If you switch it across to the left-hand side, you only get the attack, the defense, etc. and 1% cavalry defense. Mine's maxed out. But if you max out the right-hand side, which I'm also trying to do, you get defensive damage. Again, not a lot. 2.73, 2.79. We're at 54%, so we're halfway through. So maybe another 4 to 5% just by switching across and activating the right-hand side. And as you can see here, it adds the boost. So my Dragonglass, what's that, 25 and 25 plus 6, 7, almost plus 7. We're looking at like, you know, 32%. Just, you know, so 64% total in stats, just defensive damage from my Dragonglass. So you see where that's coming from. Okay. Flowers. Now, this is going to be a quick one because this is totally up to you guys if you want to do this. This is an easy way to get defensive damage reduction. It can potentially cost gold, but I will also mention on a side note that you can pick up flowers from the travel merchant sometimes, and sometimes from events or whatever. I think someone's already done it in mine today. Oh, there we go. Prime example, 10 flowers, boom. Okay. Now, I know you probably need an awful lot more than that. But basically, you just do this. Leaderboards, whoever. I mean, ideally, somebody... yeah. I know who I will be donating to. So then just go ahead. And just donate like so. I mean, you can now. One thing I always say, right? I rarely ever buy gold in this castle unless it's a monthly gold pack. So any gold that I ever have and I earn from events, I always reinvest back into the castle. Now, speaking of mentioning that, is exactly what I'm going to do and do right here. Now I'm going to take maybe 5, 6, 7,000 gold, maybe 8, pump it back in, do that like so, come back out of there. And now from that, again, I know it's not a lot, but I've just picked myself up another 2% defensive damage reduction and 2% defensive damage itself. And that will stay on there. It does, unfortunately, get reset. And I'm aware of that. And some of you guys may look at this from a low spender or non-spender point of view and go, that's not worth it. I would understand that. I really would. But I thought I would mention it. Every little counts. And again, like I said, like every bit of gold that I get, I'm not paying to do this. Yes, I'm spending gold, but I'm reinvesting it back into the castle, if that kind of makes sense. Like, you know, when you come over here and start spinning your attributes, you know, I've gone through 100,000 gold, if not more, you know, just doing stuff like this. But it's not what I've paid for, it's what I've earned, knowing full well what I was using the gold for afterwards, if that kind of makes sense. So, okay, cool. So we've got the flowers out of the way. So again, personal preference on the flowers. It's up to you. I mean, I only need to donate a few more to pick up another 1%. And especially when it comes up to, you know, the C or KVK, you know, it's always a little handy for the booster on your stats. Okay, last but not least, to finish off the video, because yeah, this is running on now, and like the other one went on for fucking ages. Civilization science. Whoops, wrong one. This one over here. Now, you've got yourself, what's that, 5 civilizations? 5 civilizations. First 3, up to the Yamato, are actually offensive. I say offensive, mainly offensive civilization sciences, right? But I will point out on the right-hand section here, right? So as you select the ancestral spirit, you'll have 4 options. Pick your right-hand side here. Now, basically what I'm doing is pointing this out to you guys so you can do it in your own castle, but not just that, but you remember where it is, and then you know for future, and you set yourself a target and basically work towards that. Okay, left-hand side, defensive damage. Down to the bottom, defensive damage taken reduction. 3.5% max. For any of you who are curious out there, offensive is on the right-hand side. Come across to your Viking, exactly the same process. 3.5% max there. I could do that one. And another 3.5% max defensive damage taken right there. Easy. Same again on the Yamato. Same process, 3.5. 3.5. Again, all the offensive is up here if you were curious. And, you know, if you go into the science, you'll see as well here, offensive damage, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Huxia and Crescent, defensive damage civilizations. And there's a small bit of offensive on here as well. But mainly defensive. This particular science right here is something that I've been pushing quite a lot on, also on the Crescent. And the reason behind that is this one little box right here gives me 12%. That's quite a lot, and that's 12% defensive damage. And, you know, all of it adds up at the end of the day. I will also mention, I believe, is it down here? No, this is offensive down here. My apologies, it's on the Crescent. But what I will say is, something you just have to sort of pay attention to is, civilization science is a big part of, you know, improving your stats itself, because you get big percentages for increasing up to the next level. So as you can see from here, right, if I can get all of these to 10 and get the process, and it is only the last stage, the next jump is a 4% jump from 12 to 16%. Resources costing me very little. Civilization crystals, 840,000. That wouldn't really take that long to save up, especially if I'm active in my castle. You could also put a couple of farms out with civilization mines and rob them on a daily basis. Kingdom, depending, if you're in a war kingdom, you know, you may not be. But if you're just active in your castle, when you mine and you upgrade, you know, your civilization mine, you can pick up so much of this so easy. But, you know, basically the point behind it is they jump so much. 12 to 16. Let's go and have a look at the Crescent, right? Oh, yeah, by the way, on a side note, 3.5 right there in the section. Soul of the Crescent. Exactly the same process. If you can have a look, see here. So my next stage from, what level is it? 7 to 8 is going to jump me 2% in defensive damage. It's only going to cost me 508,000 crystals, which I have. Very peanuts in, like, resources. You know, but also down the bottom here, I will point out to you guys. Defensive damage taken again. Another 2% jump. Not a lot in crystals. Admittedly, I need to just get all this lot unlocked beforehand. But by me pointing it out to you guys, you know it's there. And you know what to work towards next. Coming across on the left-hand side, more defensive damage. 2% jump. Again, these need to be filled in beforehand. On the right-hand side, this is only 2.5% max. I don't know why they did this. Made no sense. All the others are like 7 out of 7. But again, 2.5% increased defensive damage taken reduction right there. And also increased defensive 2.5% right there. A lot of this other science doesn't really affect defensive damage. And like I said, the Yamato and stuff, if you start looking at the equivalent of that, and I don't really do a lot of it, it's mainly offensive. I have so much offensive science that I probably could complete in my castle, but it's not, you know, top of the shop to do. Because the way I look at it like this, if I waste resources, civilization stones, research stones, whatever it may be, on improving my offensive damage, then that means that my defensive damage takes a hit, and so does everything else. Because that's, by using resources on that science, I could be using it elsewhere. And where I am only focusing on defending my castle, as to say, You know, some people may consider offensive important, and I'm not denying that. But where I am, you know, a workman's only as good as his tools, as to say. Like, you know, I'm working with everything that I can basically pick up in this game for free, you know. And at the end of the day, I just try to make, yeah, you no worries, mate, no worries, you're in the video as well. But I just try to make the most of what I've got available at the end of the day. And like I said, you just have to be active in your castle. And on a side note, don't forget, oh, actually, I posted a community post about a free video. It's not there. It's not there. I don't know. So I just wanted to add that to the video on a side note. There is a free section on there where you can gain shards. So, other than that, I hope this video hasn't gone on for too long. I've covered 5 sections. It's 20 minutes, but you know. I will write in the comment section where each one is and try to pinpoint it. I don't know if I can do that, but yeah. Let me know what you think about the video. There are many more areas in your castle to gain defensive damage, and I will bring you a video about that. This is basically like a part 1 of it. I hope this helped out. I'm Mr. Random. Hope you guys are staying safe, and I will catch you peeps later.